Ladies and gentlemen, this bout is scheduled for 10 3-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. This bout is brought to you by Mark Nielsen of Nielsen Boxing in association with John Trethui of TM14 Promotions and their proud sponsors, Allegra and Nutravita. This bout is sanctioned by the British Boxing Board of Control. Your area representative, Des Reese. Your timekeeper at the bell, Stephen Pucci. And the third man in charge of the action in the ring, A-star referee, Mark Bates. And now, ladies and gentlemen, introducing to you first, fighting out of the red corner. He is wearing the white trunks. His official weight of 19 stones, 9 pounds. He is currently undefeated with 6 wins. Hailing from New Haven, Sussex, England, United Kingdom, introducing Harvey Dykes. And his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the blue corner. He is wearing the black trunks. His official weight of 19 stones, 4 pounds and 6 ounces. He is currently undefeated with 5 wins, and 3 of those wins come in by way of knockout. Hailing from Ukraine, fighting out of Sidcup, Kent, England, United Kingdom. Introducing Dorin Krasmuru.
Gentlemen, when I tell you to break, take a step back immediately. Get your punches up, obey my commands and protect yourselves at all times. Good luck to you both, gents. Tough stuff.
Well, we're shortly about to get the action back underway. 10 3-minute rounds in the heavyweight division. Dorin Krasmuru versus Harvey Dykes. Somebody's O has got to go, and it's the heavyweights. Krasmuru looks in fantastic shape, that is for sure. And this is the opportunity that both guys have been waiting for.
Harvey Dykes looks excited to start the action. He was bouncing around on his feet, ready to run across the ring and get this action started. So I'm expecting fireworks right out the gate.
Yeah, Dykes is a very slippery customer, like I say. Both guys have shared the ring, been sparring partners with Daniel Dubois. Both held themselves very well with Daniel as well. This is a good contest, an interesting contest where you go, it's difficult to pick a winner here. It's a real 50-50 because Krasmuru is a guy that had bags of potential. 2018 when he turned pro, you thought this guy's going a long way, then disappeared from the sport, then come back, and there's had 3 good wins since then. But this is the first real acid test, and Harvey Dykes is the guy that, you know, seems to be keeps pulling off these victories, so it's a real interesting one, this one, Prower.
And the thing is, it's not just evenly matched on their records, as you know, Krasmuru's 5-0 and Dykes is 6-0. It's not just on paper that it's evenly matched, it actually is evenly matched when you dig deeper into those records.
When you look at their physiques, they're not evenly matched. It does look like we've got a kind of a behemoth there in Dorin, and he's bigger, he's in better condition, but you see the movement from Dykes. You see him keeping that lead hand out and trying to feel around for his opponent, and maybe he's going to be the one to press the action. Dorin looks happy at this point to kind of sit back, set on his shots, and wait for Harvey Dykes to come to him. Could be a mistake, not unlike what we saw with Anthony Joshua and Andy Ruiz. The smaller, seeming out-of-shape fighter pressuring the big man can make some things happen you don't expect to see coming.
Yep, sometimes don't judge a book by its cover. That's the old saying, and Harvey Dykes is one of those guys that's never really had the body beautiful. You know, you can look at Tyson Fury and say the same about him, but he has a lot of movement, Dykes, and he's got a good energy. He nearly ended up on top of us there as well. That was a close one. Radio, I thought you would have caught him first, to be fair. I saw the hands go up, but yeah, he's a big man, Krasmuru, isn't he? And he's got that physical attributes, the physical strength that you feel could play a part here.
And the thing is, Dykes is actually, he moves really well. He's quite fluid with his movement. And, at that weight, that's quite difficult to do. So whilst he might not look like the specimen of an athlete, he certainly moves like one.
Yep, he does.
Well, he's not the only one that moves like an athlete. I think you've both seen my reflexes, my ability to catch heavyweights right here on the table, which I mentioned earlier in the night. You may have had some doubt that I was telling the truth, but now you know. And right now, I think the action coming our way could easily, at any time, come right through these ropes. Both of these guys are keen to make a statement tonight and knock one or the other right out of the ring.
Yep, it's very physical in there, right from this opening bell. Interesting round. Dykes was moving around, being very elusive, and Krasmuru was stalking forward. He landed a couple of solid jabs as well. Difficult round to split there. What way do you go? Do you go for the physical advantages of Krasmuru or the slippery moves of Dorin Dykes? It was a close round.
I think it was, and like you said, it's a difficult one to score. For me, I think Dykes might have edged it just in terms of tactical awareness around the ring. He avoided some shots really well, but, Krasmuru has got a decent jab on him. He's landed that a couple of times.
I like aggression. When it's even, I didn't see anything really clean or effective landing, so I like the pressure coming from Dykes. I like the activity and pressing the action. I'd give him the round on that edge alone.
Yep. So our American friend likes the pressure. Surprise, surprise. That's the way they like it over in America. All action. Radio Raheem has been calling for that from the beginning of this show. Actually, let me rewind. From the beginning of last night's show.
That's right.
This man likes the action, and I think we're going to get it here with this 10-round heavyweight contest. Round number 2, Krasmuru versus Dykes. No one really dominating the opening round, but a big hook there from Dykes as Krasmuru was landing on. And he was forced to hold, starting to complain to the referee, but there was 2 big right hands there from Harvey Dykes.
Harvey not interested in tying up, not interested in being friends in there. He's going to throw every punch he possibly can, and it lands where it lands. That's the heavyweight way. I don't have no problem with that. Referee should step in and stop the action if the punches are landing illegally.
Yep, this is going to be very physical, this fight, that is for sure, because Krasmuru is a very big guy, and Dykes likes to hold and be tricky on the inside. The referee is going to have to do his job in there as well. He's going to have to be firm.
Yeah, he's got to. This is what Harvey should be doing. He's not the longer guy, he's not the more fit guy, but he is aggressive. And if he gets inside, he's got to be rough, short shots, and frustrate Dorin.
I think he'd do well to take his lead foot out to the side and try and sink that backhand into the body just to slow Krasmuru down a bit.
Yeah, Krasmuru is momentarily switching southpaw there. He's trying a couple of tricks in there as well, but as I say, this is going to be physical. The right eye of Dorin Harvey Dykes is starting to redden as well.
There was another good shot from Dykes though there when he got inside. That big kind of chopping hand. There he is trying to land it again. He's not, I think, the better class of fighter, but he might have the fighting spirit to get this win. I'm not counting him out in the least.
Well, I've got to say, though, Krasmuru comes with a good reputation. This is a tough guy, a big specimen of a man that puts his shots together well. He's very, very solid in his movements. He looks nice, you know what I mean, nice and composed. Everything's good. And Dykes is using a lot of energy here, by the way, for a heavyweight, as you said, that's not really a physical specimen. Will that tell later on?
I just wonder how long he can keep it up for. I was just gonna say that, you wonder how long he can actually run around the ring the way that he's doing now.
He strikes me as one of these guys that is oddly able to stay busy in that way. He probably will be able to maintain this kind of pace as long as he doesn't get hit with shots that slow those legs. If Dorin starts going to the body, which is where he should be going, that will slow Harvey's feet down.
I tell you what, Harvey Dykes is doing a good job of roughing Dorin Krasmuru up here, and Dorin Krasmuru is showing a weakness by complaining about that. He should just be getting on with it, letting the referee do his job. Krasmuru's a great fighter, a solid fighter. You know, he's got a good team in the corner as well, but don't show that weakness. Don't complain to the referee. Let the referee do his job.
You're absolutely right, Spence, and it lets Harvey know that he's getting to Dorin. He lets him know that he is frustrating him, that his tactics and technique is working.
Yeah, another close round to score there. Where do you go for the aggression of Krasmuru? Dorin Dykes had his moments on the outside. It's a very difficult one to call. Well, 2 rounds, subjective scoring. What way do you go, one or the other? Should we go 1 round apiece?
Yeah, let's just split the coin.
I think we can go straight down the middle with that one, and I think that would probably be a fair assessment of those 2 rounds, because no one's really stamped their authority in this.
They haven't, but I think the edge that Harvey Dykes has got, he's frustrating Dorin Krasmuru in there, and I don't think that's going to work well for him.
Yeah, well, it's going to be interesting to see
Look at that.
how Dykes can continue moving like that, because Dorin Krasmuru is a physical specimen. You know, you can see the abs, man. I can see abs on that guy. And he's a big, big guy. He keeps himself in tremendous condition. Martin Bowers in the corner with him. Martin's been with him the whole time. Brilliant trainer, Martin Bowers. And he runs a brilliant gym over there, the Peacock Gym. And Krasmuru is a product of that gym.
I like Dykes. Yeah, I'm the guy that's going to go for the underdog, and there it is. Big shot right on cue. You're right, Spence. They do listen for me.
That went straight in the eye there. That went straight in the eye of Krasmuru. He didn't like that. We saw him wincing a little bit. Good work again there from Dykes. Yo, I'm with you. I like Dykes as well. I've got a lot of time for Harvey Dykes. He's a great fighter himself. 2 good guys here. That's what I said about putting it on the line, and I was being serious when I said to Prayer that when I said, listen, we've got 2 guys here, and I genuinely don't know who's going to win this. This is a 50-50 fight.
The start of this round, you saw Dykes rush to the center of the ring, and Dorin had to meet him there. That's the energy. That frustration that we were speaking about is really a factor in this fight. He's landing lead punches without jabs. It's because he's the one pressing the action, and it continues to frustrate Dorin. And as the rounds go on, it really could create opportunities here for Harvey to land the big punch, for Harvey to get the big man on his bum.
Yep, Krasmuru now has a mark come over his right eye. Oh, big left hook there on the inside from Krasmuru. Oh, sorry, right hook. He's done that out of the southpaw style.
And it ignited Harvey. It doesn't stop Harvey from throwing punches. It inspires him to throw more punches. I like that action. I like that mentality.
Yeah, lovely right hand there from Harvey Dykes. He's brought back to the corner. The bootlace there has just come undone.
I think he's putting his punches together well in this round. He's come in with a nice couple of bolo shots to the body, set up from behind his jab. You know, he's growing in confidence, actually, and aggression. Yep,
he really is. Listen, he's a good amateur as well, Harvey Dykes. He's been around the game a long, long time, and like I say, all that sparring with Daniel Dubois is very elusive. He's used to going in with the big guys. He's not fazed by that, and he's certainly not showing that he's fazed here in this contest, and he's having a good round here, Dykes.
I could be wrong, but to my naked eye, I feel like I see just a little tiny cut over the right eye of Dorin. It's not bleeding, but I do see a blemish there that could be a cut.
No, it's not a cut. It's a black mark that was hit with that looping right hand that we talked about when I said earlier in the round it was there. It's an eye that's come up. There's a big bruising there, and that could be a problem later on in the fight, but for now, it's all okay.
I think this is an important fight for Dykes as well. You know, he wants to go for the English and the British title after this, so he's really got to stamp his authority and win this one, and win it well.
Yep, a crossroads fight for both of these guys. Both of these guys, you know, Harvey Dykes, 29 years of age, and Dorin Krasmuru, 32 years of age. You look at that and you go, if they want to win here to kick on with their careers, there's great opportunity out there for the winner of this one. You just mentioned their prayer, the British, the Commonwealth, the European, you know, stepping up that ladder, and we all know what's going on out in Saudi Arabia, and we got a young crop of heavyweights that's coming through right now, and they're all doing well. We've got Fabio Wardley going in against Joseph Parker, October the 25th at the O2 Arena. That's going to be absolutely fantastic. But the heavyweights are happening. Filip Hrgović faces David Adelaide out in Saudi just recently. And these guys, that's where they inspire to be. That is the dream. So at this stage of their careers, at this age, really it's a must-win fight to kick on.
And anybody can make a name in boxing with a really with a showing that gets people's attention. There's so much talent there, so many people need opponents. You can get a shot in the heavyweight division quicker than any other division.
Absolutely, and I forgot to mention October 11th, live and exclusive on TalkSport, we have Dave Allen versus Makhmudov. What a fight that is as well. That's coming up October the 11th. But now we're back in the York Hall for this intriguing heavyweight contest. Dorin Krasmuru versus Harvey Dykes. And I don't know what way you're going here, guys. I've got Dykes maybe 2-1 up going into this fourth round, but
I mean,
this really could have gone any way.
Krasmuru clipped him nicely just there, but you know, Dykes gave it straight back, and he's not showing any signs of slowing down.
Not slowing down at all, and he also can't afford to slow down. If he starts to take the pace down, then absolutely Dorin will come on, and that'll be his game. He cannot give Dorin a chance to breathe. He has to do what Usyk said and never, ever leave him alone.
Yep, there's the words from Radio Raheem, and there's some truth in that. I think that with Krasmuru, he has to keep pushing here because he's got to try and force Dykes into making a mistake. Dykes is one of those elusive customers that you don't really want to come across too often. You never quite know where the shots are coming from. Unpredictability, and what do they say in boxing? Unpredictability wins. You know, it's very hard to pin down for a heavyweight. You know, very deceiving. When you look at him, you think, right, this guy's going to stand in front of me. You couldn't be further from the truth.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you know, Dykes is still, you know, he's landed his shots, he's putting his punches together well, he's got decent combination, he's looking for the openings. You know, his feet have sort of planted right now, but for the most part, he's moving around on his feet really well.
Yes.
It appears both fighters have agreed to take something of a round off. Neither one of them is really pressuring the other and pushing the action, and I think that is a mistake for Dorin. If Harvey has stopped pushing the pace, then it's time for Dorin to kind of settle down and start working his jab and getting control of this fight. He's letting Harvey have his own way right now.
Yeah, Harvey just maybe with the better work rate of the two and just landing the shots. Dorin Krasmuru has the physical advantages and he can stamp his authority on this one, but he needs to let his hands go as well.
You know, Spence, I say this is a good round for Harvey. Whether he's won it or not is another question. But I think that he needed that breather. He needed to not have to push the action for 3 minutes, and he's gotten away with doing that without getting hurt and really not winning the round, losing the round lopsided.
Well, no, I think he may be doing enough to win the round. He's taking a fight two. He's just beating Krasmuru to the punch. It's like I say, it's like what you're looking for here. Like, you know, what one person sees, another person's not going to see. It's one of those ones, what you like, you know. Is it the composure, you know, the physical attributes that Krasmuru has, or is it the elusiveness of Dykes, where he's throwing the shots, falling in, but then tying up and making it messy so Krasmuru can't tie him up on the inside. I can't split these two at the moment.
That's
maybe
exactly right.
Maybe 2 rounds apiece. It's one of those fights where you go, they are really that tight, the rounds are that tight, and no guy really took a hold of this yet.
However, Harvey is doing the little things. He's got the little elbow in there. He's got his head he's leading with. He'll punch behind the head if the referee doesn't come in and step in. And it's the referee's job to stop that kind of thing, and Harvey's using it to his advantage. Yes, it's the radio way. It's crafty. It's right on the borderline there of dirty, but it gets the job done. And if you can get away with that for 10 rounds, it'll definitely give you the advantage.
Well, he's certainly chipping away at Krasmuru's mindset, because you saw at the end of that round, Krasmuru got frustrated quite a bit again with Dykes holding on and hitting at the back of the head.
Round 5.
And then has the nerve to try to touch gloves at the beginning of the 5th. Absolutely not. I mean, that alone, I would think Dorin would have denied. Right now, Harvey really is fighting the best fight for him.
Yep, Dykes now boxing out of the southpaw stance.
Nice jab, actually, from that.
Yep, it is. Like I say, he's a box of tricks, this kid. He's very deceiving to look at. You think, right, he's going to be flat-footed, stand in front of me, maybe slow and cumbersome, but he's not. You know, he's quite elusive. He's got good hands. He throws shots from unusual angles, and it's proving hard for Dorin Krasmuru to figure out.
We saw a warning there from the referee, a little bit more stern now. He's starting to have had enough of the behind-the-head punching from Dykes. I don't know if that will lead to a point deduction or change how Dykes fights, but right now it's working for him, and the stern warning is warranted.
Just had a call from one of the fans in the crowd there telling Dykes to let his hands go, and I think that was good advice. He's just thrown a nice double jab there, didn't quite land, but you know, he's staying busy in the round. But
oh, he's been caught there, Dykes. He got caught with a little shot.
He's the kind of guy
on the inside there. He got stunned with a little check hook.
He gets caught with a check hook, a clean shot, and moves forward, comes in to smother the action that Dorin's bringing. That's also a very savvy move. And then get back out there throwing these big looping shots like the left hand you just see there.
A lot of pressure coming from Krasmuru here. He's just sort of trying to turn it up a notch. He's just trying to apply the pressure a little bit more here, try and force the hand of Dykes maybe a little bit more.
Harvey just not giving him anything clean. He's not giving him the opportunity to land flush.
He's just not giving him the space to work. He's just smothering his work, sitting on his chest.
Exactly, smothering the work, sitting on his chest, and now you get a little bit of moaning from Dorin, which is more frustration, I believe, than harm.
Yep, I'm with you on that one. He's definitely a frustrating night for him. Win, lose or draw here.
A nice left to the body. Just as Dorin lifts that elbow up to take a shot, he receives a shot.
I tell you what, Dykes is enjoying this in there now. He's growing in confidence a lot as the intensity has slowed down from Dorin Krasmuru. Dykes now can get into a little rhythm, box at the pace that he prefers to box at. And like I say, it's difficult to pin down, so it's now about Krasmuru needs to really close that gap and apply the pressure, because that's where he has success.
The irony is, though, that now that the pressure has slowed a bit from Harvey, it's still Harvey that's initiating the action. He really has done enough in the early rounds now to make Dorin think, to make him not know what's happening next, and then Harvey is dictating. It's an interesting thing to watch.
Listen, Harvey Dykes is enjoying himself in there right now. He's just winked at someone out in the crowd. He's in the corner above us, Don Charles, great trainer. In the corner, and Don's giving him those instructions, and Harvey's been working hard in the gym in the barn up in L Street with Don.
Don Charles is an expert, also in the mental game. He does know how to frustrate your opponent, to give you the tools and the one or two things that you can do that your opponent doesn't know how to handle. Force your guy to think, to be outside of his comfort zone, to make adjustments he's not comfortable with. And that can be the margin in a fight like this.
Absolutely. Ian Dubry also in the corner, working alongside Don Charles. He's worked there for a long, long time. Ian's an instrumental part of the team.
Round 6.
And they seem quite happy. Here we go, second half of the contest.
I think they can see that their man has set the pace from the beginning, and whether he's adjusted it and slowed down or sped up, he's actually set the pace, and Krasmuru's just got no choice but to actually box at Dykes' pace. Bit of swelling there under the right eye of Dykes, though.
Yep, there is a swelling there, and that will be from that left-hand lead of Krasmuru. He really throws that out. He is a big physical specimen. He lands a couple of good shots there, Krasmuru. Dykes doing a good job of tying him up, but that was nice work from Krasmuru. Double jab, followed by the short right hand.
We're in the second half of the fight now, and it's curious whether or not this will be the story of two halves. It's time for Dorin to change the tide here, to make something happen on his own terms. And if that can be applied here in the sixth, then it'll be a difficult and uphill climb for Harvey to get it back.
Oh, that was a lovely straight left hand through the middle there from Dykes. He changed it up there because he's been winging them around like he's bowling a cricket ball at times with that left hand, but he threw it straight down the pipe then and had success. That was a massive shot, and we just see the legs just wobble a little bit there of Krasmuru, and he was happy to hold on possibly for the first time in the fight.
That's the way you want to answer Dorin's onslaught in the first half of this round. Let him know nothing's changing. I'm still here, and now I'm landing the big shots on you. I'm still initiating the action. I'm roughing up the bigger man. That is the kind of thing that will get in Dorin's head and make it very difficult for him to get momentum.
And Dykes almost cannot miss with that backhand. He steps forward and rotates it into it, and he just lands it straight down the pipe nearly every time.
Yep, the momentum is definitely with Harvey Dykes in this round. He's up on his toes. He's growing in confidence, and for me, Krasmuru just giving him a little bit too much space at the moment, and he looks like he's run out of ideas a little bit, Krasmuru. You see him there, he's coming forward, and I don't know if he's struggling with his southpaw style or what it is, but he's a little bit cumbersome when he's falling in. The feet just cross there, and you go, is the frustration taking over the boxing brain?
He's not found his way in. He's not been able to settle down yet in this fight, and we're already more than halfway through the sixth. It's a difficult thing mentally to deal with, especially when you have the stature of a Dorin. You think that you're coming in there as the better in-shape guy, the longer punch, the better jab, and none of it's working for you tonight.
I think his timing's a bit off. Just as Dykes comes in, he needs to let his backhand go and land it on him as he comes forward. But I just think his timing's off, and Dykes is able to land his shot and time up.
See, I think the timing comes from the frustration, because he seems to be doing better when he had more momentum and he was letting the shots go. The rounds were quite close, but now the pace has slowed a little bit. This suits Harvey Dykes, and he's enjoying that. He's up on his toes. Look, he's got his hands down. He's growing in confidence, and he's just nicking these rounds, and that could be instrumental as we move into the last quarter of the fight, because you go like, you can't allow Dykes to run away or nick too many rounds and hope that you're going to get him down the back stretch, because what we found out about Harvey Dykes in those first 6 rounds is that he's durable, he's elusive, and he's deceivingly fit. And there's the key, because you look at him and you go, you wouldn't think you'd be able to run to the end of the street. How wrong could you be? When I'm talking about judging books by covers, I go, this guy is a product of not believing what you see. Right?
Well, one thing I see, and it's not unlike the signature lines that come from Spencer Oliver that we all remember, it is the signature training that comes from Don Charles. Now, you'll watch it. That back foot moves forward as the left uppercut comes from Harvey. It's a Don Charles move, and he brings all his weight forward with that uppercut, landing to Dorin's midsection. That is a heavy shot to take.
You sound like you've spent a lot of time in the gym with Don Charles.
I have indeed, and not unlike you, Spence. I've watched every moment.
Absolutely, absolutely. We've been a big part of that journey for sure. Oh, that's nice from Krasmuru. A good start to the round, and for the first time, Dykes looks a little bit unsteady.
And that's exactly what he needed. He needed to catch Dykes on the way in, and he managed to do that. He just needs more of it. Just there, he's just let his rear hand go, and it's just landed so clean. Bit of blood there from under the eye of Dykes as well.
Yep, that's from those big right hands that have landed there. This is a good little spell here from Krasmuru. I think that, Martin Bowles in the corner there. They've got a wealth of experience in that corner, and Martin will have told him, listen, you're starting to throw this away here, mate. There's big hopes for you. You're 32 years of age. Now get out there and do what you're supposed to do. And that seems to have been the kick up the backside that he needed.
You're right in that he needed to catch Dykes on the way in, but the second part of that sentence is that he needs to then create and keep the space. Get some distance to work, not allow Dykes to smother you even after you've caught him on the way in. That's what's missing from the offense of Dorin.
I'll tell you what, it's a good round here from Krasmuru. He's dominated this round. And is this a case of Harvey Dykes slowing down? Is he taking a breather? Because Krasmuru, for me, is having a good round.
He's having a good round, but could it be a bit too little too late? Or is he setting up the knockout that radio's looking for?
And we're only halfway through the round. I think Dorin's in danger of receiving another one of those big, heavy shots from Harvey that might steal the round in the last minute. You're right, Priya. It's time for a knockout. Let's go.
Yep, all went a little bit quiet there, didn't it? We was waiting for something to happen. A little bit of action.
I tell you what, that is the death knell waiting, because in that space tonight anyway, Harvey has been filling it with punches, elbows, heads, and punches behind the head. He's doing everything that he can inside to make it difficult for Dorin.
That was a lovely, that was a lovely left hand through the middle there that landed flush on the bridge of the nose of Krasmuru. He needed that, Dorin, because it's been a quieter round for him for sure. Krasmuru will be pleased with the work that he's done in this round, sort of puts him back in the fight.
We'll be able to tell from the start of the next round. Ooh, Dykes poked in there. A nice little left hand straight to the chops, right to the chin of Dorin. And I was just saying that at the top of the next round, we'll be able to see if any momentum shift has happened. If maybe at this point, Dorin, from having success in the 6th, will be able to move into the 7th with some kind of momentum.
Are you starting to pick up the English lingo there? You said straight to the chops, is that right?
Every little bit I pepper in. Every moment I spend with you, Spencer, I become a little more English and a little more British.
You're getting a little bit more Cockney, mate. You're picking up
Cockney?
You're picking up the Spencer Cockney twang.
Wow. He's just been introduced to digestives. This is what's doing it.
That's
a delight, isn't it?
This is the This is the game changer. When we get to finally witness Radio Raheem cracking the chocolate hobnobs. Another conversation, guys. Let's get back to the fight. 7 rounds gone. This one's quite close. I think, for me, Harvey Dykes just in front. 4 rounds to 3. Could quite easily be the other way. It's one of those fights. It's about what do you go for, what you're exactly looking for. It's been messy at times, and it's been physical at times as well, but both guys are still in there. And this could be a 3-round fight. This could be won and lost in this last 3 rounds.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think for me, Dykes is edging it just purely because he looks like the fighter who's in control of the action. Even when it's messy, he's the one that's actually instigating that, and he's the one in control.
You know, you say it's a 4-3 fight, and that is a responsible scorecard. Something that I love about boxing is on the night, you can have a boxing match and you can have a fight, and they both be taking place at the same time. Whereas the boxing match here may be very close on the cards. It's Dykes that's winning the fight for me.
There you go. There you go, and that's exactly how we got it. I got Dykes 1 up. He could be 2 up. It's one of those, it's one of those fights. He could be 3 up because the rounds are that close. But if you're going to lean one way at the moment, definitely Dykes. I think we're all in agreement that he's just got to keep his game together. And this is again, it's like one of those close rounds, isn't it? It's like, what are you looking for? What are you going for?
Now, whether or not Dykes can not maintain now the action, but maybe in the 9th and 10th, step the action up. Switch one more
just
gear.
Like he's doing now. He's just come in with a nice 4-punch combination and just lunged into it, but landed them.
And that's the thing, Priya, that catches the judge's eyes. That you go, that's the thing that wins the round. Because you go, if you got a round where what you're going to go, where you're going to split, you go, it's that acceleration of combinations. You look at that and you go, that's what wins the round. And that could be the difference in this fight.
If Dykes can create in the last 2 rounds the kind of pressure that he created in the first half of the fight, I don't think Dorin will have an answer. It will just be overwhelming.
Lovely straight left hand through the middle again there from Harvey Dykes. And you're right, guys, I think he's doing enough in this round. He's taken the play away from Krasmuru again. I thought Krasmuru had a good last round. I thought this might be the turning point for him. He might try and build on that, but Dykes has gone straight back into the driving seat. He's taken the play away again in this round.
And he's done it without having to exert a ton of energy. He's also, in a way, taken the round off, which is why I'm looking for the last 2 rounds for him to switch the gears forward and really put this fight away.
Well, this is it. We're going to come down to the penultimate round, 9, and then we get the final round in 10, and you go, this could be a 2-round fight. This fight could be won and lost in this round. I'll tell you something as well, the referee's had to do his work here tonight as well. Hope he's getting well paid.
Surely. Referee seems irritated from the 2nd round on. Rightly so, because this has been a tough match and big, heavy men to push apart.
Yep, it has, and both guys now showing the war wounds on their faces. Both guys marked up. But credit to both teams, they're both in good shape. They've both been doing the rounds and getting through the rounds.
Yeah, we've got 6 minutes left. I've had quite enough of the glove touching. Now it is time for the chin cracking. I don't need any more sportsmanship for 6 more minutes. I want it all action and to see who's got the engine to finish.
Right, let's go for it. We've got 2 rounds left. I've got Harvey Dykes 2 rounds up with 2 to go. So for me, Krasmuru at best may get the draw. If he gets the knockdown, he gets the win, but this fight really could be won lost in these last 2 rounds. I don't know where you're at, Priya.
I'm still leaning towards Harvey Dykes at the moment. He was picking up the pace again.
How many rounds?
Oh, now you're
I'm putting you on the spot. I'm putting you on the spot
here. You put me on the spot.
Look, the Omen's gone 2 rounds. He's put his neck on the block. He's gone right. I'm sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh.
For a minute there, I thought that Dan put on his stool and Harvey's gotten so excited off of his own corner. That is the energy I love. He's ready to finish this fight with 6 minutes left to go.
Well, let's see how this one goes. Harvey Dykes was buzzing to get out of the corner. He was up on his feet, waving to the crowd. He's brought a good crowd here with him as well. There's some anxious-looking faces over in the corner of Dorin Krasmuru. I'm looking at Martin Bowers and the team. They know this one's close. Good work again there from Dykes.
This is exactly what he needs in this round and the final round. If it gets that far, he needs to just keep landing those clean shots, stay on his toes, just like he was doing earlier on.
This is exactly what I wanted to see, and on top of that, Dykes is baiting Dorin in now. He has convinced Dorin that he's behind, and it's Dorin that needs to press the action, so he's trying to set traps and get Dorin caught up, trying to create action when on Harvey's terms.
Yep, Krasmuru for me maybe just overthinking it a little bit too much, and he's giving that space, and that's where Harvey Dykes is at his most dangerous, because he's an elusive guy and he's a bag of tricks and he's unpredictable, all the things that you don't want, and he's a southpaw. You don't want any of that when you're boxing a heavyweight. And Krasmuru hasn't used his physical attributes to his advantage. He's bigger, he's, you know, physically maybe stronger, and he's not applied the pressure enough.
I think Dykes is also playing to the crowd now with a bit of showboating there.
Yeah, that tells you he's enjoying the moment. He's in his comfort zone.
And he's demonstrating to the judges that he's in control. That's also a very savvy move. Even the glove touching that he initiates, it's like, I'm dominating here. I'm the general. I'm doing what I want to do, and this fight is going my way.
Yep, a little bit of kidology. They will both know that it's quite close in there, but Dykes doing that sort of stuff, like you say, is very, very effective. I'll tell you someone that used to do that, actually, Evander Holyfield. You know that he used to bounce up on his toes and whatnot. When rounds are close, they genuinely lend towards Evander Holyfield in a close round, because he's the guy bopping up and down, and that's what catches the... It's the psychology behind it all, you know. And Dykes is that guy. He's clowning around, showboating, and you think, close round? Yeah, I think he's got it. You know, do you know what I mean?
That's one of the elements when we talk about ring IQ, and people are like, well, what do you mean? That factors in right there, and being very aware of all the elements that can turn a fight and every bit that can help you win it if it indeed does go to the cards.
He's had positive body language throughout this entire fight. He just for a split second put his hands behind his back there, but thought better of it as he's got the size of Krasmuru coming towards him. But, you know, last 10 seconds of round 9, and I think this has been mostly Harvey Dykes.
Yep, I totally agree with you. Very, very elusive still, and it's been a frustrating night for Krasmuru. Yeah. And for me, Dorin Dykes gets another round in the bank. Now, this is where we're at, guys. I think going into this 10th round and final round, I've got Harvey Dykes 3 up going into this. So if my scorecard is anything to go by, which is not, by the way, because it's not official, Krasmuru needs a knockout to win.
Now, with Harvey Dykes being ahead on your cards like that, you're in the corner. We've talked tirelessly about how he's taken advantage of Dorin's inability to begin the action and settle down into a rhythm. What are you telling him going into the final round, looking at that busted up face and knowing what's on the line?
Listen, for both fighters here, both corners are going to think this is close. No one really knows. They're both looking at you for, you know, advice. I'll get Martin Bowers looking over saying, what do you reckon? Because they want a second opinion. I'm getting the same in the corner with Don Charles. I know both guys very, very well. And they will know this is close. So, you know, this is down to the judges, down to the referee. We look at it and go, leave nothing in the tank. throw it all in there, roll the dice, man, because this is what it is. You've got to go for it, and that's what both guys have got to do here, because they will both be told, listen, son, don't blow this. And the only way you're going to do it is don't try and play safe. Go out there, show real, finish, KO, get Radio Raheem on his feet.
That's right, Dykes, stay in his chest, keep the pressure applying, keep doing those little shots, take every advantage.
Oh, massive uppercut there, massive uppercut, and he's in trouble here, Dykes. That was a big, big shot. It travelled 6 inches, and again, he's landed the same shot.
What you don't want to give Dorin a chance to
Krasmuru's
do
found his rhythm now.
is a Wardley against Hooney. That's what you run the risk of right now. I think Dykes is ahead on the cards. He's got to stay switched on and finish in these last 2 minutes.
I tell you what, it's going to be a tough finish for him, this one, because he's under an immense amount of pressure. Krasmuru knows he needs something big. He's landed a big right hand again there, and it's Dykes is the one that wants to hold on here. The referee again jumping in, doing his work, but it's all Krasmuru in this last round. Leads up for the uppercut, just misses there.
It's the first time I've seen Harvey Dykes look like he's struggling, and he's just walked into 2 very clean shots from Krasmuru.
Yep, the head's gone. He's just not thinking straight right now. He's not going in there. He's making those fundamental mistakes as you get tired. And I say, the physicalities leave you, it becomes a psychological game. You've got to stay switched on, and his game seems to have gone there.
65 seconds to bite down on your gum shield, Dykes, and eke out this win in this final round. I think he'd still be ahead on the cards. It's not time to wait on the action. Stay in Dorin's chest. Continue to fight. You've only got a minute left, mate, and I think this fight might be yours.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think that if Dykes can see the final bell, I don't know where you are, Priya, but I think he wins the fight. But what an effort it's been, if it goes that way, by Krasmuru.
I think he wins the fight, but look at those punches. His legs are starting to go again.
Yeah, he's definitely feeling the pace here. The legs are definitely unsteady. Krasmuru has sensed that, bleeding heavily from the mouth now as well, Dykes. He's taken a lot of punishment. I'll tell you what though, guys, he's shown a lot of character. Big right hand through the middle there as well. Forced to hold. Worrying times here. Only 20 seconds left on the clock. Martin Bowers and the team up on the ropes, up in the corner.
Dykes has got to stay switched on for just 10 more seconds.
He's got to survive this for 10 seconds, but
Nice.
nice.
Oh, big right hand.
Still not over. They're banging away for the last 5 seconds. Fight on the line. What a show.
Yeah, what a show, what a contest, and what a finish from the 2 big men. Dorin Krasmuru, Harvey Dykes, who's got it? Whose O is gonna go? Well, I see it as a 2-round advantage in favour of Harvey Dykes.
That was absolutely sensational and exactly what the crowd came here to see.
Yep, it's going to be interesting to see.
You're
the way
looking
this one
at
goes.
the corner of Dykes attending to his bruises, his little cuts. Those are going to feel a lot better tomorrow if he's getting his hand raised in the next minute or so. Those icings and that bit of healing, it takes a different tone when you want to fight like this.
Yeah, totally agree with that.
Both fighters with their hands raised, believing they've done enough to win. It'll be down to the referee now, and the judging is really what hangs in the balance. I'm like you, Spence. I've got Dykes edging this thing, but there are no guarantees. The judge could definitely see it the other way.
No, it was a very difficult fight to score. Both guys were having their successes. I lean just towards Dykes. Krasmuru put up a great contest, brilliant finish as well. And here we go. Let's get the final decision.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 10 rounds of boxing, we go to the referee scorecard. Referee Mark Bates scores this bout 93 to 93. This bout is a draw.
Crowd definitely not happy with that, Spence.
Well, yeah, I told you there was a lot of rounds there, subjective scoring. What do you go for? What do you like? And you can, so that's how you get the balance like that. So the referee there, undecided. We thought, I had Harvey Dykes 2 rounds up, but it was one of those contests that is difficult to score. So you sort of see it, although we felt that Dykes was winning the rounds or winning the fight maybe not winning the rounds but winning the fight, if that makes any sense. You just know if there was going to be a winner, it was Dykes, and the draw, you can sort of see how that happens.
Well, he was winning the fight. That's the comment I made earlier in maybe the middle rounds. And I thought he won the boxing match as well. I don't see a draw, and I say that with the admission that I would like the judge could see it entirely the other way, but it's the wrong way that I believe to judge this fight.
Don't get me wrong. Harvey Dykes for me won the fight. I had him winning the fight by 2 rounds. So when I say, oh, you can see the draw, what I'm saying is, if you go one of those swing rounds, the referee's gone the other way in the close rounds that we're talking about. All of a sudden now, that gap's closened, and so you can see the way that he got to the draw, even though I didn't think he got the draw. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I could see how the judge might have even scored it the other way completely. And with that said, it's because the way the judging would have gone, I would think, is by inaccurate criteria. I like the pressure being applied by Harvey. I thought the success offensively was enough to win those rounds and the fight. A draw is not a crime for anybody, but it certainly will be a disappointment for Dykes moving forward. It's going to be a hard pill to swallow.
As a heavyweight, they're big guys, but if he could have found his range better, he might have nicked it. At times, Harvey was landing some clean shots. I think later in the fight, Harvey started landing a nice backhand every single time. He must have landed about 4 or 5 in a row, and then he'd go on to hold Dorin. And the mistake that Dorin made was he'd get frustrated at Harvey holding instead of punching in the clinch. So it was a good fight. A draw was probably fair. It was hard to score. It was really scrappy. It was hard to score. Dorin was trying to work. Harvey wasn't letting him, but Harvey was letting his work off and not allowing Dorin to work. But when Dorin landed his shots, it was good work too.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like that the only way Harvey could have got the result that he got, and the only way he really wanted to go for that win, was to make it as scrappy as it was. Obviously, Dorin is known for that knockout power. 3 out of 5 of his wins have come by KO. We saw him out here in June against Gideon Ansui, who's an amateur superstar, and he laid a number on Gideon. It was very early on in the fight, and he had him on the canvas. So I think that Harvey Dykes probably knew that coming into this fight and thought, let me make it scrappy, let me tear it up a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, they had a good game plan, not getting hit, not allowing Dorin to get the full range of his shots and being in close. But I think he needed to be less scrappy to convincingly take the victory. He was going in a lot with his head, just making it, spoiling the work, giving the referee a hard job to do. And when the ref's scoring the fight and he's got to also ref the fight and it's scrappy like that, I guess it's hard for him to score. So the only thing is to score the rounds where he thinks whoever's trying to fight and making it cleaner, score it for them. But at times, Harvey done some good work, and I can't take that away from him. I was obviously team Dorin because he's from my gym, screaming him on, hence my voice is a little.
Yes, no, I saw you there, ringside.
But yeah, it gets intense. But Dorin, he was just not being, he was getting too frustrated.
Yeah.
But it's a hard fight to score when you're being that scrappy. You're coming in, you're holding, and you're not letting your work flow.
Yes.
So I don't blame the ref for scoring a draw, but listen, hopefully we can see it again and this time get the Southern area in the line. I think both boys deserve it.
I heard you shouting for a rematch. It would be an interesting one, definitely, to see again. I do wonder if Dorin would... Thank you for that, little man. Apparently it was useless. I don't think he wants to see the rematch, but we do. But anyway, next up we have a debut fight coming up. Nathan...
Barrett.
Barrett.
My gym mate again.
Yes. Oh, you got a lot of gym mates here.
I know, man.